welcome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Trish came up with this idea that we would do occasional educational resource content for you. And so basically what that means in selling is I ask Trish questions and she answers, right?
Well, I mean, I do think, yeah, but we maybe a little bit more than that down the road. But
We'll see.
I do think that we um have a lot of knowledge between us. We know a lot of people we could ask questions to.
There you go.
And eBay knowledge, reselling knowledge in general, sometimes it's hard to get like to the point. And so we figured maybe we'd try to serve that market a little.
There you go. And we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
But today we are talking about a hot topic, sell-through rate.
Yeah. So sell-through rate, of course, has been a thing forever.
Mhm.
I first heard it when I first started, eBay. I had no idea what the hell that meant,
Yeah.
or why anyone would care. And now it's a hill I will die on.
So what is sell-through rate for those that don't know?
So there's a few different ways we use sell-through rate. You can use a sell-through rate for a specific item. So
Okay.
like when you go to buy something, you can look up its specific sell-through rate to decide if it's a good buy or not.
Okay.
People use sell-through rate for their store. What's your store sell-through rate to see if you have a healthy store?
Okay.
And then you can also do it like for a yearly thing, like what's your yearly sell-through rate to decide if you're turning your inventory over fast enough. And also if your inventory, if you have the right balance of inventory, things like that.
Okay. Okay. And so
For
high
me,
level, go ahead.
yeah. So no, I was just gonna say for me, I think the most important one is when you buy. The
Okay.
rest, if you're buying well, the rest will work itself out.
All right. Because
Yeah.
that's the next question. Why is this important to sellers?
Well, it's important to sellers because if you're going to go in and spend 50 bucks on an item, right? 50 bucks is quite a bit of money. But let's say you think the item could be sold for 250.
Okay.
Is it worth spending 50 bucks on? Well, if the sell-through rate shows you, and we can talk about how you figure it out in a minute, but if the sell-through rate shows you that it should sell in less than 90 days, the question is, can you sit on that 50 bucks for 90 days?
Okay.
And if you can, great, buy it. If the sell-through rate shows you that it should sell way faster than 90 days, you'll get your money out of it right away. Great idea. But what if the sell-through rate shows you that it might take a year to sell?
Okay.
Is that worth doing? I don't know if it's worth, that's then how much money capital do you have? Things like that.
So it's interesting because sell through rate's a business thing and it's always mentioned and very associated with eBay. Why do you think that is?
Because eBay is very easy to give the data. This
Okay.
data is not as easy to find on Macari or Posh or things like that. Because of the nature of what eBay does, eBay has all 90 days worth of data all the time. So we can go in and look up anything that is sold in the last 90 days, figure out exactly how many of that exact item is on sale right now on eBay. And with those two things, we can figure out what the sell-through rate is.
Okay.
What's great about eBay is eBay makes that information known to anybody. Other places don't give you that information. You can't go into Macari and figure out when the last time something sold, things like that, as easily and for as long. And then not also does eBay give you that 90 days so easily. eBay owns Terapeak,
Yeah.
which is a free service that comes with anybody who has a store subscription on eBay. So if you're just an eBay seller but you don't have a store, you can't get into Terapeak.
Okay.
Um, this is off subject, but I could make an argument that everyone who sells on eBay should have a store if you are going to be doing it even part time.
There you go.
It is worth having. And so with that, you get the Therapy subscription, and then you can go in and you can look at data for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you can make really informed decisions. And if you're somebody who sells art, mid-century modern, if you sell collectibles, electronics, very high end records, high end things that are graded, Terapeak then can become integral to what you're doing because you know where you can invest your money and how fast it should be till you get it back out of that item.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and that data is very important. There are people that will not believe this, but eBay's not BSing the data.
Oh
They
God,
have, what is it, 28 years of buyer and
yeah.
seller data across multiple categories.
Right.
And it's a lot of data. You can get a lot of data. You should be using that data. And then, listeners, I don't want to imply that I do math at all. So this sounds mathy, Trish, but how do I figure? Let's say I wanted to figure the sell through rate. How would I?
Okay. So to figure out your sell through rate, I wrote it down so I didn't want to screw it up. So the sell through rate equals total number of units sold
Okay,
divided by the total units available for sale.
there you go.
Okay.
Okay,
So let's take, there are total units sold. So let's say 50 units of whatever.
okay.
Widget number A. Okay.
Ooh,
So widget A, there have been 50 units of them sold. And you look up, and right now there is 1,000 for sale.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Uh huh.
So 50 were sold in the last 90 days because when you look up on eBay, that's what you're looking at, 90 days. And there are 1,000 right now on for sale. So 50 divided by 1,000 equals 0.05%. It is an extremely low sell through rate. Okay. You
Okay.
probably knew that just by the numbers I gave you,
Yes.
anyways.
Yes.
But now let's do something that's closer together. So let's say you have, this is somebody gave me this example today. Let's say you sold 2,000 pairs of Old Navy jeans in the last 90 days.
Okay.
Okay, 2,000, and there are 10,000 for sale right now, right? So
On
two
eBay. Let's say on eBay,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, on eBay. I'm
The
sorry. We're talking eBay.
the sell through rate of this item on eBay versus a bunch of other sellers.
Correct. So
Okay.
2,000 on eBay have sold in the last 90 days.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you look up how many are for available for sale right now. There's 10,000. So that's 0.2. So that's 20% sell through rate.
That's terrible.
Well, then we get into the nuance of it all, right?
All right.
Then that's where time, money, inventory space become all important.
All those factors. Okay.
All those factors. So for me as a high volume seller, 20% in 90 days, if I am spending a low amount of money and I have a lot of inventory space,
Okay.
those might be perfectly good sell through rate for me. So let's say I can buy it at dollar day. Let's say I'm buying the jeans for $1. Okay.
Okay.
They're going to sell for 25, 20% sell through rate in 90 days. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So that means we have to sit on them for 5 90-day periods, right?
Okay.
So 90 times 5 equals 450 divided by 3 equals. So we got to sit on them for like a year and a half before they would sell.
Huh.
Okay.
Potentially. Yeah.
Potentially. So for me, if I'm spending 99 cents, I'm okay with that. Now,
Yeah.
I have a big house, I have a big storage area, I have a lot of inventory. If I lived in an apartment and I have to be really careful about what I sell and I have
Yeah.
a very small area, then that sell through rate might not be okay even at 99 cents. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and that's really extrapolating it out probably further than a lot of people do, but it makes sense.
Well,
So go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you look at these items, you just need to figure out what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you are somebody who's trying to achieve the most money in the shortest amount of time, then you want to spend more time shopping, probably, right? And
Yeah.
finding the best sell through rate on your items. So when you go, you want to look and you want to find things that, have a higher sell through rate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's a good, so I saw a metric today
Okay.
on sell through rates. It said 80 is really good, less than 40, you should take a look at what's going on. But this, it kind of, like you said, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but high level, what's a good sell through rate?
For me, 50% or more, I think is an easy buy.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Let's just say everything being that money is not a real factor and space isn't a real factor. Okay.
Yeah.
50% or high or more, I would buy it all day long. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Um, Below 50, I would still buy all day long. I would buy that 20% for that kind of cost, I would buy.
Yeah.
Below that, then we start to think about if it's worth it or not for me.
Okay. And again, there's different kinds of sell through rates. Like you could do like your own, your stores. And if I'm outsourcing and I'm gonna, let's say I'm out at Granny's Attic Antiques and they've got a sale on DVDs, I could look through the sell through rate, and see
On
if
each,
it's worth.
yeah, absolutely. Look at each DVD. Is it worth it? Those are scannable.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and there are some things that are much easier to figure out the sell-through rate than others. Things that would have a barcode, very easy. You can scan it with your eBay app. Everybody, I hope, knows that eBay has an app. If you do
Yeah,
not know that, download it.
yeah,
Once you have the eBay app, you can, in the search bar, there's a camera, hit the camera, can bring it up. You can either take a picture and it will search for you. Okay. It will actual search the item in eBay,
yeah.
or you will let you do the barcode. Scan the barcode and it will bring it up. And then from there, you can also look at the solds. You can look at actives or solds.
Okay. Yeah, and eBay does that because they make money when you sell and they want you to sell.
Exactly. And I do think there is a lot in our community that they, eBay shut off my store, eBay isn't giving me traffic, eBay isn't doing this, eBay isn't doing that. You are completely right. eBay doesn't make money unless we make money.
Yeah,
The only way eBay is successful is when we're successful. So they give us tools, they give us resources, use them.
yeah,
Um, and be looking at this stuff. I know a lot of us got into this business because we liked like the thrill of the hunt and we liked sourcing and we like going out, or we're really into the environment and we like the, environmental, we're reuse, recycle, that kind of thing.
mm,
Whatever it is that got you into this, it's still a business. And one of the things you need to know in the business is how to look at the numbers.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, earlier today with Clara is, like, whatever level seller you are, you have to think of yourself as a business
Right.
because 'cause you're doing marketing, you're sourcing, you're doing customer service, and you should look at your numbers, and it's like, there's a
Absolutely.
ton of stuff to look at. You don't have I mean, some people, like earlier when we were talking about extrapolating out the sell-through rate. Not everybody's going to go as deep as you do. You've got
No.
you've got a lot of room, but like good example, somebody that's in an apartment is like, yeah, I can't do 10 boxes of sneakers for blah blah blah. Has to be
Right.
something that's going to move. So speaking of this data, and I know we're most familiar, everybody's got some data. Um, everybody's got data. All the marketplaces have it. Obviously, we're most familiar with eBay. So let's talk about Seller Hub a little bit. And
Sure.
but keep in mind, I think this is one of those things that you can get this data everywhere. It's just easier in some spots. But talk about Seller Hub a little bit.
Sure. So, if you are not familiar with Seller Hub, you really should start to be. And for people who are brand new to this, you really want to get involved in the eBay community, because these are some of the things that are going to become easier and easier to get with. And you can ask somebody a question. So in Seller Hub, you go to your overview, and from there, it will open up. And those boxes that you see, those are movable. So if you're somebody who uses certain things all the time, you can move them to where it's easiest for you. But up at the very top, across the top, there is overview, orders, listings, marketing, store performance, payment, research, reports. If you go to performance, I like this tab. It gives you your sales for the last 31 days, gives you the last 7, it gives you the last 90 days, and then it gives you where you are for the year. It also gives you your traffic, listing impressions, click-through rate,
Yeah.
selling costs, stuff like that. Generalized stuff that you guys should be looking at. But at the very top, there is a report called Download the Listings Quality Report. If you have not done that, I would suggest to do it. It isn't exactly um, the same as using your it's not the same as sell-through rate, but all of these things kind of go together, and you're going to start to see some things when you're looking really at your numbers, and you're going to see what you're doing well, what you're not doing well. When I talked about earlier is I mostly think about sell-through rate on the buy, not on the sell. I don't worry about how my store is doing as much as maybe I should even.
Okay.
But I think about like how long is it going to take me to get my money back out of this item, and if I can sit on that money for that while. But what the quality listings report will do is it will show you where you're excelling and maybe where you can make up some ground. And it will tell you like if you have enough photos, if you're being searchable on Google, which things are not available on Google because the quality of the listing isn't up to Google standards, and why. Um, if and it will also rank you against like-minded, not like-minded. It will like stores. So you're going to be up apples to apples. It's not comparing me and Doug.
Yeah.
I'm a full-time high volume seller. Doug has a few totes. We are not going to be in the same.
Thank you for that, Trish.
You're welcome. But we're not going to be compared against each other. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be fair. So look at this report. It's going to give you some really interesting things to think about, and it's also going to show you. And the reason I'm bringing it back to sell-through rate is, it's also going to show you which categories you're doing the best in.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
when you look at those categories, then maybe think, all right, I'm going to buy more in those categories. I'm already doing well. I already
Yeah.
have traction with eBay in these categories. Let me see where I can go and find. For some reason, I ended up being the 25th highest used scarf seller on eBay.
Okay.
That does not sound impressive to me,
Wait.
but when
Scoff,
I look at
scoff like a mean face.
scarves,
I know. I know. Scarves, ladies and gentlemen. Scarves.
not a scarf, a scarf. Okay, I don't care what you say. Um, But for me, that was a really interesting thing. Like,
Yeah.
how the heck did that happen? I
Exactly.
didn't even know I sold that many scarves. I didn't even know scarves were being sold, bought and sold. So for me, I'm like, all right, maybe I need to double down on scarves a little because I've already got some momentum and they're easy to ship and they're light and there's all these great things about them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start looking a little bit more. But without that report, I wouldn't have thought about it. And now I'm going to go in and look at the sell-through rate of them and see like what it is, what I should be looking. Should I be looking for silk? Should I be looking for vintage? Am I looking
Yeah.
for heavy winter? So the more information you can get for yourself, the better seller you will be.
And if you are not familiar with eBay Seller Hub, you really should be. I mean, part of it is it's cool. And there's a lot of information there, and it's got links to a lot of resources, but a lot of reporting, a lot of metrics, seller tools, shortcuts. I mean, this should really be like your eBay homepage. You should take a look at this regularly. And then, like on Poshmark, you've got some metrics over there, my sales, my Posh stats, closet insights, balance, sales report, inventory report. Mercari has a seller dashboard as well that's got, uh, account stats, performance stats, and your sales report, action items. But familiarize yourself with these dashboards. But frankly, eBay's Seller Hub is probably the best amongst them.
And eBay is my homepage. When I go to eBay, my seller hub is that. That is what my homepage is. I do think that anybody who uses List Perfectly as our sponsor, and anybody who uses List Perfectly, they also have analytics in there. They also have some of this stuff, and it will continue to grow as List Perfectly is rolling out new things that will get even more robust. And my hope is eventually that List Perfectly will be able to combine Etsy, Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. So we have a true sense
Yeah.
of really. So I would say to you, use the platform that you make the most money on. If you're somebody who makes the most money on Etsy, use don't disregard eBay, but look at their homepage, look at their sell through rate, look and see what you're doing for there. Because, of course, all of these people, all of these platforms, rather, can have a different audience a little bit.
Yeah.
eBay is the big dog. eBay does have the most eyes. eBay does have the most listings. eBay does have the most data. And so I would never discount eBay in any of these calculations.
And some of this stuff with your sell-through rate is going to apply to your business across the board, but it could definitely vary by marketplace. So, keep
Absolutely.
that in mind. But
Yes.
let's go back to high level. Like high level, what are some tips on improving sell-through rate?
Okay. For me, where you make your money is when you buy a product.
Okay.
You make your money on the buy.
Okay. Nice.
You cannot spend yourself out of bad buys. Okay? When you buy, that is the most important thing. That's where all of your focus should be. Is this, how long will this take to sell? Is this worth it? How much money am I spending? Can I sit on that money for how long it's going to take to sell? Okay?
Mhm.
So for me, you have to decide what that figure is. You have to decide. There becomes, for me, under $2,
Okay.
sell through rate is less important to me.
Okay.
Because volume game, there are benefits to having some things just go live in your store. The algorithm likes it. You get a bump. You keep the, to me, eBay's a machine that you just need to keep giving it gas.
Yeah.
And for me, if I can have some very low cost items that are easy to ship, easy to list, I'm less worried about those sell through rate. Now, do I want to buy something with a zero sell through rate? Of course not. Okay,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
I will worry about the sell through rate less when it's under $2. When I spend more than $2, then I am more worried about what the sell through rate is. But again, all those things go into it. How much money is it worth? What can I sell it for? How long am I going to have to sit on it? Things like that. Um, so high level, I think you need to decide what kind of store you're going to be. Are
Mhm.
you going to be a volume store? Are you going to be a high ASP, average selling price? So I'm not throwing around terms people don't realize.
Mhm.
So ASP is either average selling price. So if this item's averagely sells for $50, you're figuring the sell through rate on that $50. You're figuring out how long that $50 it will take for you to make the 50. And if you are into it for 30, right? That's only a 20%, $20. So like how long is that worth sitting on for a year and a half? I
Yeah.
would say no.
Yeah. Interesting. My wife would say, "Listen to Trish, all that stuff you've had stacked up out there, all that crap that she keeps threatening to call 1-800-JUNK." I'm like, "No, we can make some money on that." And she's like, "You
Okay,
gotta
here's
list
the
it."
thing. Here's the thing. If you already own it, right?
"Oh, yeah."
If you already own it, that is a different discussion than if you're going out and buying it.
All right. I'm glad I
Okay?
brought it up.
If you already own it, people, you need to list it. Do not worry about the sell through rate. Do not worry about anything. List it, list it, list it. It will do a lot of things for you. It will give velocity to your store. It will add more listings to your store. It will give you more stuff to work with. And then what I do when things have been sitting too long, of course, you put them on sale, you put them on a bigger sale, you put them on a bigger sale,
Mhm.
and then I run an auction. And I will do an auction on items that I just want to get, and all they have to pay is like $1 plus shipping.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Put some shipping on it, maybe make $1 or $2 off of the shipping to cover your cost. Just get just get it moving. I would much rather sell an item for $2 or $3 with somebody paying the shipping than redonating it.
Yeah.
Because even if you make no money, it helps your store.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's an excellent point. I mean, especially if it's been sitting there for God knows how long.
Yeah.
That's mostly in my case, but, you
No,
know,
it's my case. I sold something last week that I had for 3 years.
all right. Well, I got you beat on those years.
Well, something I've had on listed for 3 years.
Oh,
Is
okay.
this
I
is
see.
this
All
I
right.
mean, I'm just talking about random stuff. I mean, it's been in my store listed.
Not an A, B, C, or D bin. I joke that there's a DD bin for Duran Duran stuff, but some of that I've sold, but I mean, some of it I keep
You
too.
don't wanna sell it.
Those boys, I love them.
Those boys, you don't wanna sell it.
Trish, any other tips, anything to add before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, I think you really wanna know your numbers. Take a good look at them. Be honest with yourself. And if what you're buying right now is not serving you, think about what you need to do different. Um,
Yeah.
decide, do you need a higher ASP? Do you need, maybe your ASP is too high and so it takes longer to sell. So you need to come down a little. It's not always about going up. Think about your sell through rate. Think about how fast things are selling in your store, how long it will take you to turn over your store. The m- Let me just say this. Used clothing, one of the lowest turnovers, takes very long it takes a long time.
Okay.
Used clothing is a long term game. So you are gonna very rarely find something used that's gonna sell, immediately. It's just not the way it works.
Okay.
So maybe used clothing isn't for you. Maybe you wanna go into something else. All of these things can be known by looking at the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and again, definitely see what numbers are there, what's available in your marketplace, your preferred marketplace. Definitely look at Seller Hub. It's even just interesting, cool info, but
Right.
something that you're going to latch onto. And that's the thing is these numbers, these metrics are going to help you improve your business.
Absolutely. And you can't be afraid of just saying to yourself, that was a bad buy,
Yeah,
you know?
it's going to
And
happen.
so it's totally going to happen. And if it is, just get your money out or at least some of your monay back out.
Yeah, exactly.
Sell it, make it, don't sit on something and thinking, don't sit on something for 4 years thinking you can get your money out and leaving it up. If it's not going to sell, if the numbers show you it's not going to sell, put it on sale and get it out.
There you go. Yeah. And I don't want to shock you, Trish, but I still learn and make mistakes.
It's amazing, Doug.
No,
It's
unbelievable.
amazing.
Think. Oh, sister, I've made some mistakes, and that's the thing is but that's the thing is it's gonna happen. Everybody still makes mistakes, and you
Absolutely.
just learn from them. Nothing's really the end of the world.
No,
You're not gonna break the internet, you're not gonna crash
no.
or
And
car
as
your
long as you're
internet.
careful, exactly. And if you're somebody like me, you make your money on the buy. You make your money on the buy. You make your money on the buy. Do your research on the buy.
All right, all right. So great tips, and, yeah, so we'll do more of this stuff, but,
And
you know
please let us know what you would like to
yeah,
talk
that's
about.
you
Let us
too,
give
yeah.
us some stuff. If you have some weird minutia you want to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. We enjoy talking about this, and we want to help you out.
Just like eBay, we're only successful when you're
And you are
successful.
successful. All right. Well, cool. Thanks, Trish. This was fun. And I will see you next time.
Thanks, Dougie.